Hey guys, bear with me. I'm having the light is flickering over here. We're having a thunderstorm, so let me know if you guys can hear me and see me okay in the chat. It just got really dark here, so I think this is as bright as it's going to get for me. So how are you guys doing? Can you guys see me and hear me okay? Let me know. Give me some feedback here. Cool. So Kelly, you can hear me. And we've got Bridget here. Good to see you, Bridget. Catherine, Kelly, Wendy, good stuff. Let me make sure we're streaming here in the group. And then we are just going to jump right in here. But as we're getting started here, guys, just go ahead and begin to introduce yourselves as you come in. Let me know what is your spiritual superpower. So who are you and what are your spiritual superpowers? What's on your resume? Some of you guys probably already know I am also a board certified hypnotist. So you guys, I get that question a lot, even though I'm over here and I'm teaching you guys marketing and sales. I also have my first business was a hypnosis business that I scaled to 6 figures. So I was able to scale, and that's why I'm here. That's why I changed my business, because I was able to scale my hypnosis business and practice to $20,000 months. And I want to see you guys do the same. So I thought I'd share that wisdom with you guys. Let me make sure we're here in the group live. But yeah, just go ahead and drop what you do. So what do you guys do? What's your background and what's on your resume? Are you a psychic, a medium? Do you do tarot? Do you do EFT? Like what's on your resume? And it looks like we're live here. Good to see you, Joey. Joey, we actually switched over to doing Zoom calls. So I'll drop the link here. Let me drop the link here. So if you do want to participate, join the Zoom. I'm going to drop the link. Just because I was having some lag issues basically since I moved, I was having lag issues. So if you're watching from the Facebook group, if you do want to interact and ask questions, be sure to come in through the Zoom link. So just FYI there if you're watching from the group. So cool. Good to see you, Vito. Nice to see you joining us. And Louie, good to see you here, Louie. So Catherine says, from Phoenix, nice. I love Arizona. Started your hypno business, certified hypnotherapist, timeline therapist, NLP. Yeah, we got a lot of NLPers here as well. And naturally, I attract a lot of hypnotists, being a hypnotist myself. Wendy, past life hypnosis and inner child healing and integration. Nice. Very cool. Welcome. I don't know if Wendy, are you new? I feel like your name is new. I don't know. But welcome if you are new, if you came in the past few weeks. Kelly, psychic medium, empowerment coach, hypnotist, quantum healer. Look at this. I mean, like, you guys should be making millions at this point with your background. You know what I'm saying? Boy, do you guys hear that lightning? Oh my God. And that thunder is crazy. Oh yeah. So Wendy just shared her Instagram. So feel free to check that out. And Catherine says grief and all in its glory forms. Yep. Grief and the glory of grief. Yep. I think we all know about that. Bridget, Reiki Master, Oracle card reader, and chakra balancing. Nice. Very cool. And then Wendy, psychic mediumship, saying, yes, you're new. Okay, cool. Yeah, so if you're new to this group, how I like to open these Wednesday trainings is just by letting us know what you do, what's your spiritual superpowers, and who you are. It's always a fun way to open these calls. And then every Wednesday, I host a live training here where you can get live coaching, get your questions answered in terms of marketing, sales, how to find high ticket premium, hypnosis and healing clients, and so on and so forth. So today we are talking about how to get clients from your posts. You know, if it's one thing I did for, let me just get some more people in here. If it's one thing I did for the first, I would say almost embarrassing, the first probably 5 years of my business was I was on Facebook and Instagram and and even LinkedIn, and I was sharing just motivational quotes, sharing passionate rants, thinking these were going to convert clients. Any of you guys kind of in that place right now, like you're sharing passion rants? I'm going to start calling them that, passion rants or motivational quotes, sharing stories and aha moments, but you're not getting bookings. And maybe this is like, what the heck? Like, what? This doesn't make any sense. Like, maybe you're sharing your most valuable stuff. Like, how many of you feel, drop yes below if you're feeling like you're sharing your most valuable stuff, but you're not getting it reflected back. Like, you're not getting back the evidence that your stuff is valuable, right? And then what ends up happening are the mind games. So, and I'm going to push through. I hope my electricity doesn't go out. I'm going to knock on wood here. But so Catherine says yes. Yeah. How many of you else are? And again, if you're watching from the Facebook group, I just won't be able to see your comments. So just be sure to come in through the Zoom link if you do want to interact and actually get your questions answered, because that's what I'm here for. Okay. So Catherine says yes. Wendy says not getting evidence. My stuff is valuable. Yeah, and it begins the mind game start, right? D, good to see you, D. Haven't seen you in a little bit. So yes, so yeah. So I'm here to remind you guys that it is not that your content is not valuable, but there's two different processes we gotta pay attention to here. And I'm gonna get into these in a moment, but first, let's go through what ends up happening. And if this is happening in your business, this is probably because of this reason your posts are not converting. So the first thing is that here's an example. So you keep dropping value. You keep dropping, like, again, your most priceless stuff, maybe stuff people typically have to pay for, and you're not getting really anything in return. You're getting likes and you're getting encouragement. And boy, this frustrated me. How many of you here are getting frustrated because you're just getting likes and encouragement, right? Like, way to go, right? Cool, right? Awesome, looks awesome, right? Or you're getting people liking, but you're not getting bookings. Drop the word book below if this sounds like you right now, because I know what it's like to be there and I can tell you what's missing. So yeah. So you're expecting people to come running towards you, and instead it's like, how come I'm giving away, like, people have to pay thousands for this stuff and I'm giving it away for free here. Why aren't they clicking? Right? And I had the same frustrations, and I'm here to remind you, it's not you, it's not your services. Okay. It's your strategy. Okay. There's no question of how valuable your offers are. I'm sure everybody here has something life-changing. So it's really a strategy. Okay. So if that's helpful for validation, is that helpful to you guys to just get that? And hopefully you can hear me over the thunder, but is that helpful to you guys to at least hear that? It's nothing to do with you. It's not your program. It's not your service. It's not even your price point. It's not even your price point. Okay. It's your strategy. It's your strategy. Okay. It's your strategy to motivate people to get on a call. Okay. So, and then as we're going through here, guys, feel free to start dropping questions as I'm going through here. I usually forget to say that, so I want to say that now before I forget. As we're going forward here, feel free to drop your questions, because this is an opportunity for you to get coaching. Okay, good, because I have my mic on. This pretty thing. You guys have a blue Yeti mic. These things are amazing. So that's good. All right. So you're getting value. You're dropping value, but you're getting likes and just encouragement. You're basically, at this point, you may be starting to feel like people don't care. So how many of you feel like now you just feel like people don't care? Now you're questioning the value to the marketplace. Now you're like, why don't people value like getting over anxiety, or eliminating toxic relationships from their life, or losing weight for good, right? Like whatever your niche is, now you begin to question whether the market really values it, right? So all of the value is up in question right now. So I'm going to clear this up here and why this is the case. But this is what's going to happen in your business if you're not getting conversions. Okay. The next thing that typically ends up happening is you're typically stuck below the 10K per month mark. So how many of you guys are here stuck below 10K per month, but you're ready to break through that 10K per month barrier? Drop 10K in the chat if you're stuck below 10K and you're ready to get over. And the reason why this is typically what your business looks like is because you don't have the volume. You're either missing volume, or you're missing quality, or you're missing volume and quality clients. Okay. And so you don't really have the abundance to get over the 10K month mark. Okay. And this is what ended up happening when I was just serving clients in person. Like a lot of you hypnotists and healers ask me, well, what's the difference between going online versus just staying in person? This is probably a question I answer at least once a day. And here's the answer. First of all, are any of you guys wondering this? Am I talking to the right crowd here? Is anyone here wondering, why should I get online? Is anyone here? Let me know in the chat. If not, I'll just skip over this. But does anyone here have that question? Okay, so it is a question. Okay, so here's what ended up happening when I was offline. So I was able to generate clients through a website. And when I say offline, I mean like a website, organic methods, Bark, Thumbtack. Basically what I'm saying is off social media. So when you're offline, there's not really a way to build predictability, right? Like you don't have a machine that's pumping leads and clients every single day. So, and then if your price point, typically when I talk to you guys, your price points are really low. Usually 2K and below is what I hear. And I'm just gonna get rid of my cat here. She's trying to get my attention now. So oftentimes by the time hypnotists and healers find us at Six Figure Spirit, they're charging below 2K. So can you see why getting over 10K per month is going to be hard if you're not charging at least, 3, 4, 5K and above? It's going to be hard, right? So you don't have the right price point because you're charging for your time or per session, and then you don't have the machine, you don't have the abundance. And this is why it's a stretch to get over the 10K per month mark. And somehow my cat, everybody say hey to Barbell. She loves the camera, as you can see. But anyway, I got my water bottle here. I hate to use it, but I got to do what I got to do. So anyway, yeah. So when I was running my hypnosis practice completely offline, it was a stretch to get over 10K. Now, can you do it? Yeah. But typically when your price point's not high enough, you're going to need like 10 clients, 20 clients, 30 clients or more per month. And there's no need to grind away like that. Okay. Yeah, she's trying to figure out a way to get up here. But anyway, back to this. Okay. So just curious, like, what are you guys charging right now? Like, what are your price points right now? So Vita says, I'm getting further education and you want to start part-time online. Yeah, and plus the online gives you the abundance. Right now you can go nationwide, you can go worldwide. And here's the thing, if you're only offline, you're going to exhaust your audience. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Now, how long it's going to take you to exhaust your local audience, I don't know. And it also depends on the size of your niche. Okay. But at some point, it's like you're just limiting yourself in terms of the impact you can make. Okay. So I work with a lot of practitioners and help them scale online who were even taught just offline methods. Like I brought on QHHT practitioners who can only in person, right? Or RTT practitioners, one session hit wonders, right? Any of this stuff we can scale, again, as long as you're willing to do so and make the changes. So I hope that answers that question of how online is going to make your life so much easier when it comes to abundance. It's going to change everything for you. Okay. So let me know if the answer is that. And so don't want to continue making 22 an hour. Yeah. I never charge per hour. And frankly, I don't know who's teaching this, but I want to go in and be like, stop teaching this, because frankly, I think what we do is worth way more than $22 an hour. I think you guys can probably agree, right? Like, I think we should be charging the highest among therapists and therapy services, or whatever you want to, healing services, because of we're the last stop typically for a lot of people. So you have a regular job, yeah. So, oftentimes I talk to hypnotists and healers, they don't even know it's possible to be full-time. And I didn't know this either up until a few years ago. And I started to question this. And then I figured out what everybody was doing to be able to make 10K and above, okay? And it's a lot of what I teach here, all right? So if you're stuck below 10K per month, you're ready to get over, then social media is going to allow you to have the abundance. Okay, you're going to have an audience, right? That's dedicated to your niche. Okay. If you're lacking consistency right now, so if you're not getting conversions, chances are you don't have consistency with income or clients as well. So you don't have the consistency, you don't have the predictability. It's sort of like, again, you're kind of winging it. Okay. And I'm telling you, you don't want to be winging any part of your business. If you feel like you're winging any part of your business, that's scary, right? Because you're kind of flying by the seat of your pants. How many of you guys feel like you're kind of flying by the seat of your pants day to day? Like, you don't really know what you should be doing every day. You're kind of throwing mud at the wall, seeing what sticks. If you're serious about growing a business, run a business. Run it how, Microsoft runs their business, right? They go by numbers, they go by data, they go by statistics, right? They use proven methods. They don't try and reinvent the wheel, right? Okay. So how many of you are wanting more consistency? Drop the word profit below if you're looking for more predictability, consistency with income or clients. Okay. So that's, if you're not getting posts that convert, chances are you don't have the consistency yet as well. Okay. So Kelly and then D. Okay. All right. So here's what also ends up happening. If your posts are not converting, you will end up having to chase people rather than them coming to you. How many of you are experiencing that right now? Rather than like being able to sit back and let people come to you, you feel like you have to go chase every single person, which again is just like a self-defeating process, begins to mess with your mind. You begin to question your value. And because of that, now you're trying to convince people and you're chasing. Okay. So I work with a lot of healers who come to me and they're doing this convincing stuff. And you guys as healers probably already know that by default is going to make people run for the hills. So you do not want to convince, you do not want to list benefits, be salesy, that type of thing. Okay. So if you feel like you're having to chase in the DMs, it's probably because you're missing what we're going to talk about here in a minute. Okay. And yeah, if you guys are watching from the Facebook group, just a reminder, if you do want to engage, if you do want to ask questions or comment, I just posted the Zoom link below. So grab that if you do want to come in. Okay. And if you guys have questions here, start dropping them as we go through here, because this is an opportunity for you guys to get some clarity and to get some guidance for next steps in your business. Okay. All right. So you feel like you're chasing. If your posts aren't converting right now, what ends up happening is, even if you do get conversions, what ends up happening is you get ghosted, you get cancellations, and then you get no-shows. So how many of you would like to eliminate all of this? Like, if you could just fine tune this so well so that you're only pushing through people who are actually going to show up. Right. I'll be honest, at this point, I would say out of every 10 people I book on a call, I'd probably say 70%, 80% show up. I have about a 70, 80% show up rate because of what I'm going to talk about here in a minute. Okay. All right. And then finally, I think we covered this one a little bit, but if your posts aren't converting right now, what ends up happening, and especially if you're an over giver, like if you tend to over give, if you tend to be like if you're a recovering people pleaser, you tend to over give with nothing in return. And this cycle ends up happening time after time, post after post. How many of you here are recovering over givers, recovering people pleasers? That was me. And I just said no more. Like I'm not going to do anymore unless I get back in return. Like I'm just not doing anymore. Not going to give away all this free information. That's it. So D says yes. Yeah, I know they'll like Wendy, yeah. Yeah, especially us healers, we tend to be the first to give. And if we don't have boundaries in place, then people take it for granted. People take you for granted. They take your information for granted. Okay. So Louie, good to see you. Howdy to you as well. All right. So sounds like I'm talking to the right crowd here. So let's talk about what shifts we can make here to start to eliminate this. How can we get our posts to start to convert? What are these blind spots here? And if you're new to these lives, and this is maybe your first time, what I like to do is have you introduce yourself and then let us know what your spiritual superpowers are. So what is your training? What's your background? And most likely you'll resonate with a lot of us here on the call as well. So, and then again, if you're new to this group, my name is Lydia Catherine, also board certified hypnotist turned sales nerd. That's what I like to tell people. Board certified hypnotist turned high ticket sales nerd. I've been training in high ticket sales for probably 6-7 years at this point, and mastered the ability to sell, $5K programs and above, and even $10,000 programs I've been able to sell. So this is really a skill, but it's a skill you can all develop. And it's worth it. It's really worth learning. And so you can call me the hypnotic sales nerd now if you want. But let's talk about what to do here. Okay. All right. So you guys ready? You guys ready to go into these 4 things? Drop the number 4 here if you guys are ready. And I'm just going to add something that I almost forgot. Okay, cool. Boy, I can't believe you guys cannot hear that thunder. It's so loud. All right. So Catherine's is 4, Louis is 4, and D. All right, well, let's jump in. And then guys, drop your questions here as we go in, if you do have any that come up. So the first thing here, the first blind spot here is this one's gonna sound obvious, okay? But I'm gonna go out on a limb and assume that some of you guys aren't doing this, because I was not doing this, okay? And this was one of the reasons I was not getting bookings, okay? So the first one is that, yeah, are you making an offer? Are you making an offer? A lot of us are just spitting out value after value after value after value. And we kind of we think just by sharing a story that people are going to come running and booking a call. And I'm here to tell you, it's not going to happen if you don't make an offer. So how many of you, is this a blind spot for? I drop the word offer below if you're not making offers right now, okay? And this can be any offer. This can be an offer to book a call. This can be an offer to sign up for a boot camp or whatever you have going on. Joey says, when you say offer, do you mean a call to action? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because your call to action will go to an offer, right? You're offering something. Okay. So if you're not dropping offers, are you dropping offers? A lot of us as healers, and I've heard this and I had this, how many of you here are afraid to drop an offer? I've noticed, I talk to a lot of people who are afraid to drop an offer because they fear they won't get bookings or they won't get engagement. And then they're worried about being judged and criticized because people aren't signing up. And then what ends up happening is they delete the booking. They delete the post. How many of you here, and I've been guilty of this, drop the word me below if you are afraid to drop an offer. And then when you do, you delete it maybe after 24 hours because you don't get the feedback that you're looking for. And that's actually another blind spot. So you remove the post when you don't get the feedback you're looking for. Is that resonating with anybody here? That's not resonating for anybody here? No? Okay, cool. So you guys seem pretty confident in that case. So are you dropping an offer? Are you giving them something to do? Right? Are you giving them something to do? Or are you just blasting value into their face all the time? Okay. So Joey says, you drop an offer, but no links. That's okay. It doesn't have to be a link. It doesn't have to be a link, actually. But you just tell them to do something, right? Cool. All right. Yeah, so Catherine, make sure you're dropping an offer. Okay. I noticed I had a fear of dropping an offer because I didn't want to come off salesy. How many of you you're worried about coming off salesy by saying, tap this link, book a call or drop this number or do this thing? You're afraid to do that because you're like, who am I? Who am I that people are going to do this? Right? You're questioning your own value. So Catherine, yeah, so take a look at, but there's a strategy to this as well. How often you drop an offer, you have to be careful with as well. So Joey says, I was in sales for many years, then became a hypnotherapist, so trying to find a balance. Yeah, it's interesting. I talked to a lot of hypnotists and healers who were rock stars in sales, rock stars in real estate, rock stars in other places in their lives. But when they switch over to their new business, their healing business, the confidence is gone. The confidence is gone. And have you ever asked why? Have you ever explored that? It's interesting, right? It happened to me too. When I switch over to new niches, there's a little bit of shakiness when it comes to the confidence. So you're not putting yourself out there like you could be. And actually that's another blind spot. You're not, yeah, it's exactly, you're walking on eggshells. Yep. It's like you're waiting for like a shoe to drop. And you don't want to sound pushy. Yeah. Yep. So you're actually leaving money on the table by not doing this at all. Or by doing this while you feel like you're walking on eggshells, believe it or not, because your energy will translate when you drop an offer. I've noticed when I drop offers and I feel bad or weird or salesy, people don't take action because they can feel it, right? But I notice when I'm like, boom, can you guys feel my energy right now? I'm like, boom, just drop, do this. Can you guys feel the difference, right? There's no shame. I don't feel bad. It's just like, here, right? So it takes a little practice to get back there if you've been there in the past. But I would question, for you, Joey, well, what's the difference between what I used to do and what I do now? Chances are it's just your confidence and maybe being able to deliver. So I would look into that. Louis says, I'm currently not offering programs. And it doesn't have to be a program, guys. It doesn't have to be a program. In fact, I would encourage you not to drop offers to your program. Stop doing that. If you do that, there's a strategy to that. You can easily come off salesy, so be careful with that one. How often you pitch. Like there's kind of two different offers here. There's an indirect offer and a direct offer. Okay. A direct offer is like, hey, join my program, right? Hey, sign up for this. Hey, book a call. These are direct offers. But there's also indirect offers. That's the blind spot, right? There's also indirect offers, right? Which is basically like, it's like a resource or something like that. So you got to kind of vary it up a little bit. Bambi says, nice to meet you, Bambi. I think you came in this week or last week. So you've been where I felt putting a call to action on my content every time is too much. Yeah, I mean, and it also depends on the call. Again, indirect or direct. The more direct call to actions you have, the less equity. You start to lose trust with your audience. This goes for everybody, including me. You can't dodge this bullet. This is like a finite rule in marketing. There is a balance when it comes to dropping offers. But if you're not doing it at all, you're leaving money on the table. Okay. Yeah, it is limiting belief. Yeah, a lot of you are, I'm going to write this one down because this is very important. This is when I talk about, I just don't want to forget. Okay. This is something I talked about with my paying clients inside of my community on Monday. So this is probably going to be a blind spot for you guys. Joey says, I feel like I don't have enough leads or a large enough network. Well, how big is your network, Joey? How big is your current network? Then you'd be surprised how, what's the number? What's the number? Mm-hmm. You'd be surprised. I talk to people 50. There could still be some sales in there. It just kind of depends on the rest of your system. So 100 people on Facebook, there's sales in there. There's sales in there somewhere. I'm confident about that. It's just probably some of your converting strategy might need some work. If you've got people in front of you and you can't convert them, that's usually another bottleneck and blind spot. Dee says, I think I got blocks on Facebook because I share holistic content. You got blocked on Facebook? I don't think you got blocked because you share holistic content. You may have been using spammy language. So Facebook will come after you inside of your Facebook groups too, by the way, if you're using spammy language. So you have to be careful. Inside of your messages, they monitor everything. It's crazy. All right, let's move on to number 2. I don't keep you guys all night. So number 2 here. And here is the big blind spot, guys. It's when you put out a post, okay? You're generating presence. You're generating, you're putting out value, okay? But here's the blind spot is a lot of you don't have a converting system. The strategy to generate purchases is separate than to generating, the strategy to generate presence, likes, engagement, things like that is a different strategy when it comes to converting people from your posts. These are completely two different strategies. And what I'm saying here is because you put out a post, don't expect that to convert a client. There's another strategy you have to put in place to convert people into bookings from that post. There actually is a strategy for this. So a lot of you are just putting out posts, hoping for people to run to you. I'm here to tell you, most people aren't going to do that. Now, you may get one here and there who's like, oh my God, please call me, right? That's like, one in every, 20, maybe 30 or more. But there's completely different strategy to actually converting people from your posts. So do you have a solid converting process from your posts? This might look like DMing. This might look like outbound calling. This might look like some sort of prospecting, outreach type of thing. So if you're not doing any outreach, you're probably not going to get any clients. So how many of you drop the word outreach below? If you need, this is what you're missing here. It's like, you know how to put up a post, you know how to put out value, but you don't know how to do the outreach in a way that's not salesy. And maybe you're even afraid to do the outreach because you don't want to be salesy. right? You don't, maybe you're afraid to DM, you're afraid to call, you're afraid to friend request because everybody's being that way to you. So you don't want to be that way to everyone else. So yeah, this was a huge blind spot for me. And this is probably going to be the case for most of you guys. If you aren't doing outreach, you're not going to get clients. Okay. So you need a solid outreach process to move people and kind of help them build the curiosity to get on a call with you. Okay. D says, I'm not complete blocks, but algorithm problems. Yeah, so you have to kind of train the algorithm. Yeah, there's a way to train the algorithm to get the right people to see the right posts. And that's whether you're on your personal Facebook page or your Facebook group's going to be different. Facebook business pages. Yeah, I mean, yeah, again, it's like the same thing. You got to train the algorithm to actually, for the right people to see the right thing at the right time. All right. All right, number 3 here. And guys, again, drop your questions as I go through here if you have any. Oh man, this is a big one. You guys ready for this one? If you're ready, drop the number 3 if you're ready for this one. This is one I probably help clients fix on a daily basis. Like on a daily basis. All right, let's get into it. You're not telling them why they should listen. A lot of you are just being like, here's my thing. Here's my story. Here's my offer. Here's my post, you know, and here's an example of this. Here's an example I saw a client do this week. Hey there, I help people with weight loss, you know, lose weight, you know, lose 10 pounds in the next, I don't know, 90 days or whatever. I'm excited to help you. Here's what I can help you with. That's very typical. But it says nothing about why they should listen. So if you cannot connect your content to your reader and let them know, man, this cat is I think this cat can fly. All right. So if you're not connecting your content to your reader, you're probably not going to get much at all. You're certainly not going to get bookings, let alone engagement, right? So you have to be able to, say, why should they listen to you? Why should they listen to you? Okay. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you guys? Let me know if this is helpful. Is what I'm going through here, is this providing value to you guys? Let me know. Drop the word value if this has been valuable for you guys so far. I know there's only so much we can cover here in about 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure good that this is helpful. So you got to let them know why should they listen to you, right? Did she just jump again? All right, I'll just leave it for now. This is like a cat that can fly. All right. And then here's the one here's the why exactly. Why should they listen? You know, have you guys heard Russell Brunson's story? He has a great example of this. Have you guys heard of Russell Brunson's story? You guys know who I'm talking about? No? He's the ClickFunnels guy. ClickFunnels guy. He started ClickFunnels. He's the founder. Well, if you haven't seen his story, this is a perfect example of. He got up in front of a crowd of people and he just started talking about and pitching. And he was telling them the benefits of funnels and how great it is and all of this stuff. And nobody gave a shit. Everyone was sitting there, probably like the people, your prospects on your social media. They just kind of sat there blinking, right? And what ended up happening was he lost his shit. He was like, why aren't you paying attention? Do you know how much energy and effort and money I've had to spend to learn this? I had to do this. I had to do this. I was struggling with this. Now I'm here. He had to share all this to get their attention. So if you can't tell them why it's important, they ain't doing nothing. So that's a great example. Isn't that a valuable story, guys? Very valuable story. So if you just go up with a pitch, here's what I can do. Here's how great hypnosis is. This is how hypnosis can help you. And it's going to fall on deaf ears. But if you tell them what's in it for them, then that's going to change the game. Okay. All right. And then number 4 here. Now I'm trying to read my chicken scratch. Here we go. Yeah. Here's the big one. Here's the one I talk about almost every single week with my clients. Bambi says there is more to it, but here is a few examples of call to actions. Okay, so help Bambi's providing an example here. If you'd like to know what this can support you, DM me and let's chat. Yeah, this honestly is pretty salesy. DM me and let's chat. I wouldn't send that. It's pretty, it's friction. There's friction there. And I'll talk about the end of the post, what the program is. And it just depends how you use it and who you're on. So a lot of this is going to depend on who the audience is, how you're using it, and how often you use it. But to me, DM me and let's chat is very salesy because everybody's doing that. So you got to break the pattern. You got to break the expectations here. So I would change that up. Yeah, because people are so used to that now. But thank you for sharing, Bambi. But that's a great example. That's a direct call to action. Do this to get on a call. Do this to find out about my offer. Okay. And then here's the last one. Okay, this is a blind spot for probably all of you here. If a lot of you here are kind of in the place where you feel bad, you don't want to bother people, you feel guilty, you don't feel good about reaching out, you don't want to be salesy, pushy. Okay, I can tell you right now, if you're feeling this way, you're focusing on, and this is number 4, you're focusing on the wrong people. You are talking to the people who are going to be bothered. You're focusing on the people who are going to treat you bad. And I'm here to tell you, both of those audiences are in front of you, the people who are going to be bothered by you, and also the people who are going to thank you. So who are you talking to? Are you talking to the 20% here who actually want your help, or the 80% here who are here to prove you wrong and be bothered by you? Is this resonating for some of you guys right now? My clients will do that sometimes too. They're talking and focusing and putting their energy on the people who don't even want the help in the first place. So are you talking to the people who don't want to be bothered? You're walking around on eggshells because you don't want to bother people. Well, you're advertising to the wrong people. And that's probably why you might have an income plateau. In fact, I'm going to guarantee that's why you have an income plateau. So Catherine says yes. So Catherine, this is resonating for you. Are you talking to those people? I just did a training on outbound calling with my clients. How to do outbound calling in a way that's not salesy, pushy, or weird. How to do it in a way that's fun, that you get a thank you at the end of a call, right? How many of you would be scared stiff to call somebody, right? It was scary when I started. Now I get most of my clients through calls, through outbound calling, believe it or not. This is what I teach my hypnotists and healers. So if you're always anticipating pushback, that's exactly what you're going to get, right? You create your reality, right? Joey says, when you said outreach earlier, does this mean cold messaging people who follow us? Any messaging at all. It can be cold, it can be warm, or is this for the ones who engage with your posts? I reach out to all of them. Although I don't do a lot of cold outreach anymore. I would say all of my leads at this point are warm. I don't do any cold outreach, although you can still do, this can still apply to cold leads. Joey says, so I tell people to call me directly or ask them to book a consultation. Yeah, again, very salesy. It's going to be very salesy because again, everybody's done this and they're doing it. And so people are numb to it. People are numb to DM me, let's have a chat. People are numb to book a call on my website. People are numb to it now. So you're probably not going to, if anything, you're going to get very little from that. No, I don't recommend this at all because it's too big of a jump. Guys, it's too big of a jump for somebody who doesn't know you or just discovered you to book a call. Well, if the urgency's there, it's great. Most people aren't ready to book right away. And so a lot of you guys have a funnel, and you have a funnel and your ad goes directly to book a call. It's too big of a jump. It's too big of a jump. So I don't like that strategy. There's a time and a place to have them. Yeah, I would just not. I wouldn't ask people to book a consultation anymore, to be honest. I don't do that anymore. It's just too salesy. I mean, are you getting feedback are you getting bookings from, like, a good amount of bookings from this? I wouldn't imagine so. Because everybody's doing it. It's like people are numb to this now. You have to change your strategy. A great example is like, you guys know about the posts where it's like, sob story, sob story, sob story. Here's my breakthrough, book a call. You guys remember those? People still do them. Sob story, woe is me. I had a breakthrough, book a call. You guys remember those posts? Those don't really convert anymore. Why? Because people have caught on to the pattern. And for those of you who are hypnotists, you're going to understand this. People have caught on to the pattern. So sob story, you know, I had a rough life and I figured it out, book a call. This stuff doesn't work anymore. So you have to keep changing things up and breaking up people's anticipation. So I wouldn't drop any more, book a consultation. And also, do you want just anybody on social media to have your booking link? I don't. I protect my calendar. I do not want just anybody having my booking link. Absolutely not. Because it's just going to go apeshit with probably poor quality leads, maybe some high quality in there. But I want to book my calendar. I don't want anyone to have access to that. That's just how I feel. I mean, do you guys feel the same way? Let me know. So Joey says, how would you reframe that? I wouldn't reframe that at all. I would make a different offer. I would just not offer a consultation because it's just too big of a jump. It's too big of a jump. So it's not the way you framed it is bad. It's just your offer. It's too big of a jump, if that makes sense. So I teach my clients something different, much smaller thing. But even if you change that up, you'll want to add on a proper converting process. Even if once you put out the post, now you have to have a strategy to get them on the call as well. So Bambi says, is it too direct to say, join my Facebook group if this resonates with you and you'd like, I'm guessing, my support? I would rephrase that. I don't think join a Facebook group is not a big leap, but I would reframe that because it's still salesy. You see how you're still pitching support? It's too soon to pitch support. Can you see? I know this is very nuanced. It's very nuanced, but it's still too soon to pitch support. It's too soon in the game. So no shows come from random bookings. Exactly. I maybe share my booking link maybe once a week, maybe, and not even anywhere. I only share it to specific people in my Facebook group, not even everybody in the group. So it's when you start to actually build some resistance into your prospecting, it's amazing how many people, it's like your vibration changes and people start to come towards you now because you're no longer like, here, everything's free and available all the time. Once like that, there's no value. But when people have to work harder, they value it more. Are you guys feeling where I'm coming from now? When people value what they have to work for. So if you're like, here's a booking link, here's how can I support you? They'll book a call and disappear. But if they have to work, if they have to jump through a few hoops, Now, most of them are gonna probably, and I don't even, mine are free. They don't have to pay for them. And I still have about an 80% show up rate. If I say 70 to be conservative, but it's a pretty good show up rate. So, was this helpful for you guys today? We're kind of at the top of the hour. Any questions? Any last questions here? And then what I'll do is I'll send out the replay here either tomorrow or Friday. But hopefully this helped you guys fill in a lot of these blind spots here and gave you a chance to get some coaching here. And yeah, if some of you guys are new, so if you didn't get the mini course on your way in, I know, I think if you came in through my ad, you requested to get the 4 steps to a 6-figure spiritual business mini course. If you haven't gotten that yet, drop the word course below in this chat. Or if you're watching from the Facebook group, drop it underneath the video. And then I'll be sure to get the mini course over to you if you haven't gotten that already. So a lot of you are coming in and it's a kind of a confusing process, I'll admit it. So if you haven't gotten the course, let's make it easy. Actually, here's an even easier way to do this. And I'll also put it in the video in the group. But what you can do here is tap this link, drop me the word course inside of the chat. I'll also save this chat so I have this. But if you want me to get you this in the next 24 hours, tap my m.me link, drop the word course, and then I'll get it over to you that way. And then I'll also drop it in the group. Drop course for the mini course in my chat. Boom. And then, because what I noticed was happening is I'm trying to give you guys things, and then I get off here, and then I'm not connected with some of you guys, and then I'm like, I don't know how to connect with you. So that's what ended up happening. So if we're not connected, click the link, drop the word. That way I'll know where you are, and that way we're connected, because I've been having trouble finding some of you that are requesting things. So that's what I have here, guys. Hopefully this has been helpful for you. And yeah, let me know what I can teach you here in the future. It was not in a good reception, so I want to watch the replay. Yeah, my light was flickering over here. Hopefully it wasn't Spectrum, because they just changed everything out. But in that case, guys, thank you for being here with me today. Hopefully this was helpful for you. If you got value, please drop the word value. Good to see you, Vito and Wendy and Bridget and Bambi. Welcome to the group. Ramona, Wendy. Anyone else I miss here? Joey and Kelly and Dee and Catherine. So great to see you guys, and Louie as well. So let me know if you got value. I'll see you guys next week, and tap the link if you still need that to get the mini course. See you later, guys. Happy Wednesday, the rest of you guys.